Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So what I'm going to do today, right? I'm going to discuss an issue I found when working with map. Now you might have used maps before, collections before, right? In Apex. So I'm not sure if it's an issue or if it's a functionality that's but there's something with Salesforce say this is the way it works. But to me, it doesn't look right because the way the memory is handled behind the scene. I mean, I do understand that not many people, in Salesforce space that talk about Apex memory management. But in saying so, right, you might have experienced this issue before, and so I just wanted to demonstrate the problem I faced, and then it's up to you guys to, just to let me know just what you think, right? Do you think it's a bug or is this a functionality Salesforce says this is how the underlying implementation works? Okay, so what I'll do, I will go to the developer console and let's start building. Let's write a code, and I'll show you how it works and the problem, right? Okay, so I will close all of this and I'll go to the execute anonymous window. So what I'll do, okay, so let me expand it. I'll do say map of contact, right? And I will say integer and I will say map contact equals to new map of contact as an integer, right? And then I'll create a two contact C1 equals to new contact C2. Oh, sorry, new contact C1 dot last name equals to, I'll just put say test one. All right, I'll just do the same for second contact. Yeah, and I'll say C2 C2. Okay, now let's say map contact dot put, right? I'll just say C1 1 map contact dot put C2 2, right? All right. Now if I say system dot debug and I say map contact, obviously you will see beautiful result as expected. Okay, so what I'm doing is pretty simple, right? As you can see, I created two contact, but I haven't inserted it. I've added that contact to the map, right, as a key, and I've used a value as 1 2, right, just a dummy. Okay, if I run this, and you will obviously see a map. Um, okay, interesting, taking its own time. All right, so what happens is that while it finished what it was supposed to do, it will see a map with contact, like the last name, and the key value, right, which is pretty simple. All right, which is pretty much is right. This is the key, and this is the value, right? Key value. That's okay. Now imagine you have a scenario where you don't want to do an upsert using a map. I mean, you obviously can do upsert, map contact dot key set that will upsert the contact. Or if you wanted to upsert the value or insert the values, you can see that map dot values, right? Which will pretty much do that. But I had a requirement where I can't touch the map. Instead, I wanted to add this to a separate collection. So what I did, I just did a contact, and I say contact list equals to new list of contact, and then I did contact list dot add C1 C1, or I can do something like that at all, right? And I can say my contact dot key set, right? It's pretty simple, sweet. Okay, let's see if it runs. It runs, right? No problem. Um, all right, so I can close it. I can close it. Okay, now what I'm doing, come on. I wanted to do upsert contact list. All right, so what that will do, right? It will insert the contact, right? If upsert is pretty cool, right? If it has to do update, it will do update. If it has to do insert, it will do insert. Pretty sweet. Nothing fancy here. So the one thing you have to understand in Salesforce, right? The memory is shared, right? So it doesn't matter you update the contact in a separate list, or it doesn't matter you update the contact in the map. Your contact will get updated in the map as well, right? So what you have seen is in this case, when I did a system debug of this code, line number 9, I've seen a contact as a key, uh, but with no ID, right? Obviously, because the contact is still in a dormant state. We haven't inserted that record to Salesforce tables. So, which is great. Now, I will be doing that using the upsert contact. So that's great. I mean, you will expect that where, your contact will be inserted, but you see a difference here. Now, if I do system.debug, right, the strange thing happens. Okay, obviously you expect, right, the map contact will have a key, right, which contains the contact. Now, contact, instead of last name, it will show it has a record, right? Obviously, because you're doing an upsert here. Sorry, upsert here. Now, the memory is shared because it's this contact, whatever you're doing here, is pointing to the memory reference which you created here, right? And this memory reference is shared. So no matter you update this contact in a list or contact in a map, it will refer it back. No problem. Now you see a difference here. Let's see what happens, right? Come on. It's taking some time. Let it do the. So you'll find a funny result, and this has puzzled me, and I'm not sure if it's a Salesforce bug or is it a functionality. If it's a functionality, I don't like this functionality. You see, the values disappeared. You see the value? It makes no freaking sense to me, right? Because think about it, right? If you're looking at an object management, if you're looking at a memory management, yes, you are updating the memory reference point, but why are you flushing out the values, right? That doesn't make any sense to me because this is like now I built something recently, right? And it's for filtering, and things were failing, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. Then I realized this is what is happening. Right, this is a very unusual behavior, and I haven't seen this in other programming language. But obviously, I never dealt with the object-oriented based database before. But in saying so, I don't think so. If it's a Salesforce, I'm not sure if it's a Salesforce bug or it's the way it's implemented. If it's the way it's implemented, I would say it's a crap implementation because you should not be flushing out the values, right? Unless someone points me to a white paper which talks about the memory management, so I'll be happy to know more about it, right? At least I'll have an understanding of what's going on behind the scene. Now, I can understand that memory is shared. It doesn't matter. You use object here, object there. I try to use the clone, doesn't work. Object on clone didn't do anything, right? So let's do something like that. I'll show you what I meant. I tried this as well to say, okay, wanted to be clever. I said, okay, let me clone it, right? It didn't do a damn, to be honest. Okay, let me execute it. See, it's still the same result. So it was a bit interesting. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys have experienced this problem, just let me know, right? Because you might, the reason why I wanted to make this video just so that you guys are aware of it. So so that you guys don't fall in the same trap I've happened to fall lately. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Adios.